confront you. Because sometimes the hardest person, you can talk to so many people. You can talk to your friends, you can talk, but the hardest person is to sit down with you, to look the person in the mirror and to tell them the things that are repressed within you. So it is so important to take this very, very serious. I will just pause here and ask you, can you remember about your childhood days? Like I said earlier, we had big dreams. You could look at the sky and see an aeroplane flying, passing by, and you're like, I will fly that one day. And nothing seemed impossible. Nothing seemed out of touch. So this video, we are talking about healing the inner child through reparenting. Reparenting your inner child. Because most of the time, our parents, I don't like condemning our parents because they did the best that they could, but there are some things that they missed because they also didn't know better. And as an adult now, what I'm doing even with my own inner child, it's reparenting. And reparenting means you are showing up for your inner self, how you'd have loved your parents to do that. If maybe there are some things, there are some very basic things that you are denied as a child. This is now the time that you are able to reparent your child and you are able to provide that. And I remember some time back talking to somebody, and I was telling them I'm a firstborn, and being a firstborn, so much was expected of me. And I was telling that person, I don't remember myself, being out there, the way I see children playing out there, coming home late because they have been playing, they have been doing all these kind of things. At the back of my mind, I always had that I have to go back in the house, I have to clean the utensils, I have to make sure that my younger siblings are okay. I was a parentified child, and I know so many firstborns, and especially daughters, they can relate to this parentification. And when now that I am in touch with my inner child, sometimes I get playful. Sometimes I like, getting in touch with my inner child. And this is also helpful even as I am parenting my children. And I'm going to get there soon. Because as I am parenting them, I am also so intentional because I wouldn't want them to have any wounds that they'll have to heal later on. And as I am parenting them, something interesting is that I also in a way feel I am parenting myself. In a way, I connect with that child that maybe was not playful, was not handled well, if I can say that. And that is the role of reparenting your inner child. So I said, the aim is not to discredit our parents. It's not to discredit what our parents did. They did their best. They did the best way that they knew. But remember, and also some of them, they were raised in dysfunctional families. Like you listen to the stories of our parents, you will just sympathize with them because they didn't know better. So they passed to us what they knew. And that is why today it is so important for us to tackle this issue about reparenting. So I'll be talking about a few things that you can do to reparent your inner child. And one of them, I call it honoring your inner child. And that is crediting your inner child, acknowledging your inner child. Sitting with your inner child and acknowledging that they are there. You have an inner environment. You have an inner family. I call it, we all have an inner family. We have an inner child. We have an inner teenager. And we have a critical parent. Those are the people, those are the voices that we hear all the time. And that is your inner family. And you have to recognize and you have to acknowledge and you have to honor their feelings. So one way of reparenting your inner child is honoring them, acknowledging that your inner child is there. And once you do that, I say that try as much as possible to recall the occurrences that happened in your childhood. Because honoring means acknowledging. So whatever that happened in your childhood, if you had bad experiences in your childhood, acknowledge that you had them. If maybe you are abandoned, acknowledge that it happened. Because the moment we keep on burying things in the subconscious, let me tell you, they never go away. Your subconscious, I told you last time, is like a very powerful computer. It keeps everything. Whatever is in the conscious is like, it's an iceberg. It's something very small. Something. So the whole thing, most of the things, they are locked in our subconscious. So you just sitting down with yourself, with your inner child. And I know I've done this so many times, and sometimes I can assure you, you'll break down, because you'll wonder, how can so much, how can such injustices be done to a small child? But you have to really acknowledge that, and you have to really honor that, so that now you can go to the next step, which is now talking to your inner child. And I say, most of the time you have to affirming your inner child. That is the second point of nurturing and healing your inner child through reparenting. And I call it speaking loving and positive affirmation to your inner child. And when I'm doing this, I love using this voice, this my voice, and I will twist it in a way it represents a caring parent. It represents somebody who is concerned about a small child. And I will talk to my inner child, and I will tell her some of the things that I like telling her. Is here are some of the affirmations that I like affirming to my inner child. I am here for you. And then you can pause and you can just let them soak it in. I will love and protect you. That is speaking positive affirmations to your inner child. You are wonderful, and I'm proud to be associated with you. And this is so powerful, because so many times, even when our caregivers, they didn't verbalize it, we kind of could tell. It's like we are bothering. It's like we are a bother to them. It's like we are disturbing their peace. So telling your inner child that you are wonderful, I'm proud to be associated with you, it goes a very long way. Your thoughts and feelings are important. Wow, this is something that is so powerful, because now again, and especially for us who are from our African backgrounds, there's a way they say that children, they are to be seen and not to be heard. Sometimes you will speak, you have a valid point, there's something you really want to tell your parents, but they're like, no, not now. And they will not even give you that audience. So you being that loving parent, remember we are talking about reparenting. Reparenting means being there, being present to that child. You are telling them your thoughts and your feelings are important. You shall be okay. You are safe with me. It's so important for your inner child to have that safety. You have so much to offer the world. You are a blessing to your generation. When you start telling your inner child such things, affirming them, telling them that it is okay now, you are safe now. Sometimes I'll sit with myself, because my childhood was not all that pleasant. There are some things that I passed through which are not okay, and sometimes I'll just sit with that small me, that little girl in me, and I'll tell her it is okay now. You are safe now. You can express yourself now. And you know what I like I've said earlier, when you get in touch with your inner child, you realize that the possibilities, the potential, the great things that God deposited in you, They've always been there. It's just that sometimes they are buried by all these negative emotions, by all these wounds. And once you started now removing and adding your inner child from the wounds, from the pain, you are able to tap in to your full potential. So I say this affirmation to your inner child as many times as possible. You might even decide to use a special voice for your inner child, such as a loving mom or a caring dad. I think I already mentioned that. Another way of reparenting your inner child is using the tool we call visualization or imagination. And this is where now you imagine meeting your inner child. And for a time, I want you to think about that little child within you. I want you to visualize them. How old are they? Which year? Which time did it feel so hard on you? Maybe when you were 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, or even when you were a teenager. And I want you to imagine yourself meeting with that child right now. You are an adult, you are a man or you are a woman. You are now in your adult years. And this child is somewhere. Now you are using visualization. I say when you are meeting your inner child, sometimes I love meeting with my 5-year-old, the 5-year-old me. Because I imagine she must have gone through a lot of injustices at that age. And when I meet with her, I want you to imagine, where are you meeting your inner child? Is your inner child outside playing by themselves, or are they in their room? What is happening to them? I want you to go to where they are right now. And as you are meeting them, how are they? How is the expression on their faces? What are they doing right now? Are they ready to meet you? As you're walking to them, say hi. All this you are doing in your mind, in your imagination, and it will be so helpful when maybe you have closed your eyes. I want you to greet your inner child. Maybe your 5-year-old version, your 6-year-old version, your 7-year-old version, whichever version you are comfortable with, meeting with them right now. Greet them and introduce yourself. And then look into their eyes. Are they sad? Because we said that the eye is the gate of the soul. When you look at the eyes of your inner child, what can you see? Do you see sadness? Do you see excitement? What are you seeing right now? And then, what is their reaction towards you? If the inner child wants you to just, have them in your arms, can you just imagine that you are holding your 5-year-old version of yourself? If they don't want, it is okay. It is okay. If maybe they don't want you to be in their personal space, it is okay. But those are some of the things that you can do over and over again. Walking up to your inner self, walking up to that version of you. Because I know we can all recall a time in our growing up when things were not okay. We can all recall. If you can walk to that version of you, even if it is a teenager, even if it is a troubled teenager, it is a rebellious teenager, you can just tiptoe your way to them and introduce yourself, look into them, assure them that all is well, talk to them kindly, talk to them and let them know that now that you are a woman or now that you are a man, you are going to take care of them. And by doing so, you are going to form a good relationship with your inner child. Because most of the time we are out of touch with our inner self. We don't realize what is going on with our inner self, but it is so important. It is so important. That's why sometimes just being alone by yourself, by your thoughts, by your emotions, it really helps in healing the inner child. Another way that you can heal the inner child, this is my favorite because I love writing, and this is writing a letter to your inner self, or writing a letter to your inner child. And I know I have done this severally. And when I am writing a letter to my inner child, I love using my non-dominant hand. That is my left hand, because it feels so authentic. It feels so childlike. It feels so innocent. It feels so, it feels so real when I am writing a letter to my inner child. And every time I write a letter, the first thing I write is from my inner child, and this is now where I use my left hand, and I will express myself, and I think I have something here that I can read to you, a letter that I wrote to my inner self. I am hoping I'm going to find it, or if I printed it. Yes, I think I have a printed. So write a letter to your inner child. So imagine that you want to adopt that wounded inner child and write her a letter assuring her or him of your intention to love and protect her onwards. You want to adopt that wounded inner child. You are going down the memory lane and you're finding your inner child, and you want to have them back in your life. And this is the letter that you are going to write. As you write this letter, let her know how sorry you are for the years she felt lonely and abandoned. Tell her of your intentions to love her or him, and spend as much time with them as possible. So, and I have even written here, I love writing, and so I poured out my heart to my inner child. So I wanted to assure my inner child that I want her in my life, and I'm ready to walk with her through the journey of healing past traumas and wounds. So this is what I wrote to my inner child. And when I wrote to my inner child, I wanted to use a nickname that I used to be called when I was young. My name is Wambui. My middle name is Wambui. So when it is shortened, it is Foi, Foi. So this is what I wrote. And I wrote, "Dear little Foi," and I said, "I'm so happy that we are connecting. I'm sorry for the years you felt abandoned, you felt unwanted, you felt that you did not matter. I'm sorry for the times you felt scared and you withdrew in your dark corner, not knowing what to do. I know you have lots of repressed negative feelings, but I want to assure you that all shall be well. I want to take care of you. I want to help you heal, and I want to help you let go of your fears, because you are precious to me, and you and I shall conquer the world. I want you to know that it is okay to be felt. I want you to know that it is okay to be seen. It is okay to be heard. I want you to know that you matter in this world. You have a lot to give to the world. I want you to know that you are not a mistake. You came into this world by God's design. I want you to know that I love you so much, and you have a place here with me. You have a home here with me. I want you to feel so loved and accepted. You are accepted. You are enough. You are loved." Yeah, I know this can get a bit emotional, and it is okay. It is okay to cry. I know I have cried severally as I was writing. This is one of them. I have wrote several letters to my inner self. And let me tell you, this is therapy. This is therapy, because many times we have repressed emotions, and I can assure you, we all have emotions that we have repressed within ourselves. And the moment you are able to confront you, because sometimes the hardest person, you can talk to so many people, you can talk to your friends, you can talk, but the hardest person is to sit down with you, to look the person in the mirror and to tell them the things that are repressed within you. So it is so important to take this very, very serious. Yeah, so it will require a lot of courage just for you to write a letter to your inner self. So you can also receive a letter. That is another step. Receive a letter from your inner child. Receive a letter from your inner child. And this is still you writing. There is nobody outside who is writing for you. And this one is the one that I recommend a lot. You use your non-dominant hand. When you are writing a letter to your inner self, you can just use your right hand because you are the mother or you are the father. So be the adult in this case. But now when your child is writing a letter to you, when your inner child is writing a letter to you, use your non-dominant hand. And I said, for more authenticity of your inner child's voice, I recommend you to use your non-dominant hand to write this letter. If you're right-handed, use your left hand and vice versa. I know you understand what I'm saying. I also encourage you to relax, reflect deeply, and listen to the voice of your inner child. Connect with your wounded inner child and capture her raw, authentic feelings. Listen to your inner child. What are they saying? And as they say, pour it out on a paper. And as I was listening to my inner child, this is, I was able to just capture, I'm still in this journey also. So I was able to capture a little bit of what my inner child would have wanted to tell me. And this is what she told me. She said, "Hi, Mommy. Thank you for wanting to love me. Thank you for wanting to protect me. Sometimes I feel so scared and lonely, and I don't want to continue feeling this way. Please, Mommy, don't ignore me again because I am hurting. I want to be okay. Please help. I love you, Mommy." Yeah, so these are some of the things that you can listen from you. These are coming from the real you, from the authentic you. Remember, your inner child is your authentic you. Your child, it's like, comparing, it's like a child. For those of us who have children, you know how real and how authentic children can be. And as I was thinking about children, I thought about my own children. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. And whatever you see with them is what you get. There is no fakeness with children. So it's so important for you to appreciate and to listen to your inner child. I want to give maybe some very few ways that can also be helpful when you are healing your inner child. And I'm using my notes. That's why maybe you can hear me. You can hear me flipping through, because healing your inner child is something that is very, very intentional. It is something that you have to be very intentional about. You can't guess about it. And the other thing that I would like to talk about when you are reparenting your inner child is seeking help. Seeking help. Because as you can see, some of these feelings may be so overwhelming. So sometimes you'll need somebody who is besides you, and most of the time a licensed therapist or a professional therapist will help you to maneuver through when you are healing your inner child. And also, if you have gone through extreme cases of childhood traumas, maybe you were sexually abused or you are severely physically abused, you've gone through some very severe cases of childhood trauma. Don't do this by yourself. Seek help and get to know exactly how you can heal your inner child. Because as I said earlier, your inner child is everything. When your inner child is in pain, when your inner child is wounded and those wounds have not been dealt with, it all pours to all other aspects of your life. So thank you so much for watching. I know that we are going to catch up in the other video. Please comment, and also if this video is of help, share, comment, and maybe you'd like to book an appointment for healing the inner child. My contact details are there in the comment section. And also follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, and also follow me on Twitter so that we continue healing our inner child. Thank you so much. See you in the next one.